Hey, what is up everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another one of my videos. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at Ames Defi, a protocol that is run by nicest and his team that has a really strong community and has a lot of innovation coming into the scene. Now, before we jump into the video, please make sure you guys like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, as it does really help the YouTube algorithm and is a way to support the channel. Now, a lot of you might know Ames Defi from Alto Protocol. However, Ames Defi has been printing like there is no tomorrow recently. Now, obviously, because of the recent events concerning both Bitcoin and BNB, Ames Defi did struggle a bit and they dropped under peg. As a matter of fact, I was looking at it earlier in the day. We dropped all the way to 0.75 peg before actually climbing way back up. Now, you guys already know I look for protocols that have good TVL. So as you guys can see, they have more than $1 million locked. They have a good community and a protocol where I think that there is a lot of gains to be made. I'm somebody that doesn't like buying shared tokens or the peg token when it's extremely high. I don't like buying on green candles. And as such, I've been monitoring this to see whether or not this is a good opportunity to get into this project that, in my opinion, has been holding peg for an extremely long time. As you guys can see, all this time it has been above peg. Now, after doing my own DD, after doing my own due diligence, essentially, I've come to the conclusion that the community is indeed extremely strong. And I mean, it can be seen on the chart. There was a huge dump that happened by a whale. However, as you guys could see right here at 0.75, it started to come back up really quickly. And as a matter of fact, overnight, it did actually hit peg. However, it was sold off by swing traders. And now it's sitting at a healthy 0.9. Now, when I say that the team is good, what do I mean by that, right? Because it's important to understand what the team is doing to regain peg. So the number one thing that I want to show you is a screenshot that nicest sent myself. And as you guys can see here, measures to regain peg. It is visible that the first thing that they're talking is that the auto compounders run the perfect strategy by themselves to support peg. So let's have a look at what the auto compounders is. If you hit the auto compounder tab, you guys can see they have the A share and the Ames BUSD LPs. Now, what does the Ames BUSD do? It essentially sells the A share that it's receiving. So you go over here, this A share right here, and buys Ames and BUSD and deepens that liquidity, which eventually is helping the protocol and is helping the peg automatically kind of rise because it's adding that buy pressure on Ames by itself, right? And as you guys can see, if we look back here, there's over 100,000 TVL here, which is so obviously every time this is being auto compounded, there is that little push up on the chart, slowly trying to regain that peg. Once again, I do want to reflect the fact that, you know, Bitcoin is doing Bitcoin things, and we've been kind of going down, especially with the CPI report being above 8% yesterday. It did not help the case, and yeah, we're seeing a massive sell-off not only on Bitcoin but on stocks as well. So personally, for me, to see protocols lose peg was very inevitable. However, what I did want to see is how they're going to regain peg and whether they're going to hover at the 0.7 mark or whether they're going to come back up. Now, this is a quick lesson for all you people that are kind of new to Toonforks. In my opinion, a protocol that is under that 0.7, 0.5 range for a prolonged period of time shows that it is very weak, right? But a protocol that within a single day comes back up to 0.9 is, in my opinion, one of the healthier protocols in the system. And that's because, as I said in my previous videos as well, I think it's normal for a protocol to be within that 0.9 to 1.1 range, right? As soon as it gets way above 1.1, it's considered unhealthy for the protocol because then you have a lot of impermanent loss by new investors, and as such, people won't want to invest. And as soon as it gets under that 0.9 and 0.8 region, that's when you have a lot of fear as to whether or not the protocol is going to come back on its own. And of course, none of this is financial advice, and you guys should always do your own research before investing. However, when I do see a protocol such as Ames that has a huge community behind their back, you know, back up to that 0.9 peg, it does show me that there is definitely going to be a slow recovery here, maybe in a day or two. And when that does happen, you already know the price of A share is going to pump like crazy. So of course, me personally, I am I am an opportunist. I do look for protocols that I can enter and potentially make an LP, with Ames and BUSD, which will eventually not only help the protocol, but it will help me as well, since I'm getting it at a cheaper price. And as you guys can see here, they're talking about the continuous convert of a portion of the rewards into Ames to make Ames BUSD LP. This is why we were able to grow from 200k liquidity to 720k liquidity in a mere week. And as I showed you guys, this hasn't stopped. They're going to be continuing to do this, and this is going to continue to deepen the liquidity that Ames has. So once it regains peg, unless there are those bad actors such as those whales that are going to sell off a huge amount, we won't see that kind of issue happen. The other thing, as you guys can see here below, so they have the bond system, which we all know. You can head over to the bonds and purchase a bond here if you want. And underneath, you see we can and have performed buybacks already, some designated from the treasury and some from our own wallets. So obviously that is always a good sign and shows that the team is here to stay and is actually working really hard. Furthermore, we are releasing the Ames Defi Cavern crawl next week, which is something like a miner with a GameFi layer on top of it. This will be a huge feature that will grow our PEG token liquidity to be very deep. Now, we did see something like this be started by a lot of other projects, such as EMP Money, where they have the detonator, and a lot of other projects generally in the seed, and they have been extremely successful and helpful for the project. And as a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, as soon as the announcement came out for the detonator and other similar functions in other protocols, we saw that the price of the PEG token went extremely high, right? And of course, alongside that, the share token. And that's because there's a new functionality, a new ability to earn on the protocol by buying the Ames token, which adds another layer of utility to it. Furthermore, the boardroom expansion rate has already slowed down from what it was previously. Basically, math is the more Ames is in circulation, the less Ames is printed per epoch. And now, obviously, since we are under PEG, the boardroom is not printing. So now the token is less inflationary. There's less in circulation. The only tokens that are on the market are essentially the tokens that are sold by the holders. So as long as the community is strong and they're holding their tokens, the auto compounder will automatically bring this back to PEG essentially. And of course, new investors and people such as myself that are opportunists, that are looking for good projects to invest in while they're cheap, are going to be jumping in somewhere around here. Now, the other thing is, you guys can see here, the important thing to note here is the developments that we are pushing out to add deflationary mechanism to Ames and A-share. The Whirlpool will create a use case as well as a 15% built-in deflationary burn. The Cavern crawl will provide interactive utility and a GameFi layer that helps to lock LPs, which is beneficial in protecting the price of Ames. So these guys know what they're doing. There's another thing that they are launching called the Whirlpool. Now, the Whirlpool is going to be released soon. It's going to be a first multi-token bingo system on Binance Smart Chain, which in my opinion I've never seen before. I'm actually kind of curious to see how it works. And the awesome thing is, unlike other lottery systems and other protocols, the funds aren't going to be just given to the treasury. They're actually going to be burnt. And I like that because it creates this deflationary system. 15% is a lot. So, it creates a nice deflationary system, which will obviously help, once again, the price of Ames DeFi come back up. So definitely, me personally, as an investor, as a trader, as somebody that's looking to make money in this scene, I see this as an opportunity. It's at 0.9. It's not even that far off of PEG. So it definitely is, in my opinion, a smart move to try to position yourself in protocols such as this that have such a strong community. Why do I say they have a strong community? Well, if you go into their Discord, into the announcements, you guys can see they have mad announcements, mad stuff that's coming up. As I mentioned, Whirlpool, they have Alto Swap, Ames DeFi, Cavern Crawl, and of course they have serious marketing coming up. As can be seen here, there's marketing galore. They have partnerships. They have everything going on for them. And as I said, they have a really big community. As you can see here, people are still positive. They're under PEG, waking up to us being back at PEG. Bullish announcement, continue PEG. A-share still really cheap. Now we're headed up. Dumpers left, selling at a loss. So this kind of tells me that the community is very active. They are not crying and upset that the protocol did lose PEG, but rather they're waiting patiently for it to come back above PEG to continue doing what it is doing, while at the same time the devs So like nice person, for example, this individual right here, he is working on the project non-stop along with his team. You guys can see their team on the top right here to create all these functionalities and benefits for the protocol that are going to be launched. Of course, guys, as I always say in all my videos, none of this is financial advice, and you should always risk what you're willing to lose. This is DeFi after all, and it is a very risky space, and as such you have to always make sure you manage your risks. Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you all have an amazing end of the week, and as always, guys, let's get that bag. Peace.